Salt Lake City or Denver? Which mountain city is actually the better place to live in 2026? Both are two of the fastest growing cities in the West. But here's something most people don't realize. Once you factor in housing, taxes, and insurance, living in one of these cities can cost thousands of dollars more per year than living in the other. I've actually lived in both Denver and Salt Lake City, commuting in both, skiing in both, and experiencing the day-to-day lifestyle. So today in this video, I'm breaking down the real differences in housing prices, rent, income, insurance cost, and the outdoor lifestyle, so you can decide which city fits your life and your budget before you make the move. First, let's talk about the vibe. Denver feels like a big, energetic city with more restaurants, concerts, sports, nightlife, and culture. But there's a trade-off. Getting to the mountains in Denver can take an hour and a half to 3 hours depending on traffic, especially during the ski season. Salt Lake City just feels different. It's smaller, more relaxed, and the mountains are literally right there. You can leave downtown and be skiing, hiking, or mountain biking in just minutes. So right away, the question becomes, do you want a bigger urban experience or instant access to the outdoors? But the biggest financial difference between these two cities actually isn't the home prices. There's another cost most buyers don't realize until after they move, and it could add hundreds of dollars per month to your payment. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. My wife and I own a real estate brokerage here in Utah and love to help people relocate here. Reach out if you have any questions about moving here. Also, you can download our free relocation guide by scanning the QR code on the screen or the link in the description. Now let's talk about the most important thing that people care about. The housing market. In Salt Lake City, the median home price in 2026 is $550,000, and in Denver, it's sitting at $585,000. So Salt Lake homes are slightly cheaper on average, but both markets are still competitive. Inventory moves quickly in both cities, especially in neighborhoods close to downtown or close to outdoor access. One key difference is the location value. In Salt Lake, you can buy a home much closer to the mountains for the same price you would pay further from recreation in Denver. Next, let's discuss income. The median household income in Salt Lake County is $99,000, and Denver comes in just shy at $92,000. That means the core Salt Lake area has a higher median income than Denver's core county. At the metro level though, it flips slightly. The Salt Lake Metro is sitting at $100,000 and Denver Metro at $106,000. But here's where things get interesting, rent prices. The average rent in Denver is around $1,770 a month. And Salt Lake is roughly $1,340 a month. That's 24% cheaper in Salt Lake. When factoring in housing, utilities, and transportation costs, the cost of living in Salt Lake City is a little bit lower. Now let's talk about that cost I mentioned earlier that surprises a lot of homeowners, insurance. But first, let's talk about the taxes. The state income tax is pretty similar. In Colorado, it's about 4.63%, and in Utah, it's 4.5%. Property taxes are also relatively low compared to the national average. Denver averages about 0.54% of the home value, while Salt Lake County averages around 0.48%. But where the difference really shows up is homeowners insurance. Because of hailstorms, wildfire risks, and severe weather along Colorado's Front Range, insurance premiums in Colorado have increased dramatically over the last few years. The average homeowner's insurance premium in Denver is roughly $3,700 to $4,700 a year, depending on the coverage and home value. In Salt Lake City, the premium is typically around $1,100 to $1,800 per year. That means homeowners in Denver pay $150 to $250 more per month just for their insurance. The reason comes down to risk. In Colorado, they experience more hail, wildfire exposure, and extreme weather, which drives up insurance claims and premiums. So while taxes are pretty similar, insurance costs can noticeably increase the total cost of owning a home in Denver. Another big difference between these cities is how you experience the outdoors. When I lived in Denver, the typical ski day meant waking up really early and driving up I-70 and sometimes sitting in traffic for hours, especially on the weekends. In Salt Lake City, it's completely different. You can drive around 30 minutes to the Cottonwoods and be at some of the best skiing in the world. Obviously, on a powder day, it takes a bit longer, but not the 3 to 4 hours it'll take you from Denver. That kind of access really changes how often you get outside. Lifestyle and outdoor access. This is where Salt Lake City really stands out. From downtown, you can reach multiple ski resorts, hiking trails, and mountain biking trails in just minutes. And in some neighborhoods, the trails are right outside your door. Outdoor recreation is built into everyday life. Denver also has amazing access to the Rockies, but getting there usually means planning around I-70 traffic during ski season. Lifestyle-wise, Denver wins on urban energy, more food scenes, concerts, and professional sports. Salt Lake City is growing fast though, with new restaurants, breweries, art districts, and a revitalized downtown. Both cities have a really strong job market. Salt Lake City has become one of the fastest growing tech hubs in the country, thanks to the Silicon Slopes. Tech, finance, and healthcare and government jobs are expanding quickly. Denver's economy is larger and more diversified, with industries like tech, aerospace, healthcare, finance, and energy. It offers more job variety, but it's also larger and more competitive. Let's do a really quick run through of the pros and cons of each city. In Salt Lake City, the pros are the mountains are within minutes, the rent's slightly lower, and the housing prices are cheaper. It has strong income levels, incredible everyday outdoor lifestyle. Salt Lake City cons are the winter air quality, like the inversion, smaller nightlife and urban scene, competitive housing market. The Denver pros are it's a larger city with more amenities, bigger job market, stronger cultural and entertainment scene. Denver's cons are it's a long distance to the mountains, higher housing costs, and overall there's just more congestion. If your priority is the outdoor lifestyle, mountain access, and slightly lower housing costs, Salt Lake City is incredibly hard to beat. If you want a bigger city, more culture, and a larger job market, Denver may feel like a better fit. Having lived in both cities, I can say this though. Salt Lake City gives you a lot of lifestyle value without sacrificing income, especially if the outdoors are important to you. I put together a Salt Lake free relocation guide. You can scan the QR code on the screen or download it from the link in the description. And if you're thinking about moving here to Utah, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you find the right home and the right neighborhood.